Ok.
Fala, galera da TV Maldita! Finalmente chegou o dia. Sensacional. Gilson, onde é que você tá, Gilson, hoje?
Em casa. Estou em casa, mas tô com vocês aqui, né?
Numa boa?
Numa boa. Onde é que você tá aqui? Você tá num lugar diferente aí, cara.
Eu tô...
Tá
cara,
no shopping?
De novo, eu errei o lugar onde eu deveria estar, mas eu só quero falar pra galera que eu esqueci que tinha essa live com o Tomaz hoje e eu vim para outro lugar aqui.
Parabéns.
Então, me desculpa aí, mas antes de mais nada, welcome aboard, Mr. Tomaz Lang.
Hey, Aquiles! How you doing, buddy?
So good to have you here in our show. People were dying to have this time to meet you, to talk
Me too.
and pictures.
Me too. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, so as you know, you are huge in Brazil, and we have the super chat here that people gonna send us question, and then Gilson gonna put this on the screen, and then we can talk about everything. And we also have our questions that we made a very good research about your career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So
sounds exciting.
So where are you at this moment?
I'm in my studio. I'm here in Los Angeles in my studio at 9 Beats USA headquarters. And we have a school here and offices and recording studio. And it's a beautiful place full of drums. I wish you could be here.
I would love to be here, man. Maybe next time, But
I hope so.
But what exactly is this? Are you teaching here? Are you recording? Are you streaming? What exactly is this new facility?
Yes, we're doing all these things. This is my company called 9 Beats USA, which is a franchise of drum schools. And we have our headquarters here in Oak Park, California. And here we teach group class lessons for drums. We teach one-on-one lessons for drums. I record a lot of video lessons for the app and the website, and we stream from here. We have camps here. We have our offices here. So we do everything from here. So this is headquarters of 9 Beats USA. 9 Beats is originally from China. It's the largest drum and music school franchise in the world. And and this is our US headquarter location. And I have my studio here as well. And I record all my stuff here, all my sessions, all my video lessons. And this is also where I practice and hang out.
Awesome. So can we call? We can probably call this drum paradise, huh?
It is, for me at least. Yes, exactly.
I wish I could be there, huh?
Study drums with me, come here.
Okay, I wish I could be there.
I wish so too.
Let me see if I can do some magic. Do you think that we can do some magic just like that movie Back from the Future, and we can get together somehow?
Everything you do is magical.
Okay, let me try this. Let me try this.
Try. Let's work the magic. Magic.
What he's talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I left that open.
I won't get
Yeah, we were rehearsing here with the drums with the mask on. So basically, we are keeping some.
We're keeping a social distance. Exactly. You have to move a little over that way.
Like
there it is. Exactly.
Okay, cool. So let me just tell the people in Portuguese that we were a little bit late because of what we are doing here. Então, galera, o Tomaz teve essa ideia da gente vir junto aqui pra gente fazer isso. E aí, porra, eu ensaiei uma música. I'm telling them that I rehearsed for 1 week your tune. So I was kind of disappointed when you called me this morning saying, I don't know what's happening with my system. So basically, então, galera, eu ensaiei, ele me mandou a música, and you said that the music was easy. And that's not easy. You are playing drums, so it's nothing easy.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I really appreciate you learning it. We'll still play it.
Yeah, absolutely. We will. Então, galera, aí a gente se atrasou um pouco, porque ele falou, cara, consegui funcionar, eu tava em casa, entrei no carro, correndo e vim pra cá, a gente passou o som, and A gente está muito feliz. Então é isso aí. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, before there's one important thing that the guys that are going to send super chat.
Yeah.
We are helping an institution called Music Union.
Okay.
So basically, all the donation that they are sending us, we're gonna give for this institution that is helping musicians and technicians.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. So guys, donate a lot of money, okay? It's for a great cause.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Olha, ele falou para vocês doarem dinheiro, galera. Vamos ajudar aí então na causa aí dos músicos.
Yeah, and you know, some of the people that are watching, they can understand what we are saying, what we are talking about. But if in some of this question, like you say something that I know that everything is really important, but something that I want to brief them,
then
you know,
translate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just a little piece, just those important parts, especially when it comes to practice.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So first of all, thank you so much for being here, Gilson.
Yeah!
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm a huge fan of both of you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of this guy, and I bought this a long time ago, and this is already signed. Look this.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm jealous now.
Right, it is. Yeah, but this is, or like the price here is $49.
Dang.
In Brazil, it's 300 reais. I remember that I paid something like this, and this one is even, they are pretty much the same. But in Brazil, I bought them both together, almost 500 reais.
Oh my God.
I bought the second one from Aquiles. I remember him watching.
It was a very good material. Okay,
Thank you.
Tomaz, what was happening in your life when you start the quarantine, and how much did it influence your professional life?
Actually, when this pandemic broke out and quarantine and lockdown started here in Los Angeles, I was in the middle of construction work here at the studio. So I had contractors here and builders every day, and I was here for 10, 12 hours every day building this space, and then we had to stop, because contractors couldn't come in. Everything was on lockdown, so there was a big holdup in construction. It was very stressful because we had a deadline and we wanted to open at a certain point and have our students come in, and unfortunately we couldn't. Construction stopped, so I worked by myself and with one other friend for a few months to finish the space and furnish it all and bring my drums in and do all the lighting and electrics and everything. So I was very, very busy, and I just moved from here building to home, which is only like a few minutes,
Okay.
But that went on for months, So I was very productive during that time, but not playing much or anything, just finishing construction.
And how do you deal with this kind of situation that you are one of those guys that is playing almost every day, and then suddenly you are here, and do you miss it?
Oh yes, of course. But sometimes in life you have to prioritize, and sometimes family is more important, or business is more important, or whatever happens. So in this moment, I still have a second studio at home.
Okay.
So I can also practice at home, and I did.
So do you have another gear?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So I have, thankfully, the option to practice and rehearse at home or here, and so I didn't miss it really. Whenever I felt like I wanted to learn something new or practice, I had the opportunity. But I just prioritized on the building work, and of course, in terms of concerts and touring, everything went away until next spring, basically. I had a few things left, a few shows and tours in Europe at the end of this year, but all that has been canceled too.
Okay. So basically, you were not practicing that much during the quarantine?
No, less than usual.
Okay, less than usual. Okay.
Not because I couldn't, but because I had all this construction going on.
Okay, a lot of people are having kind of troubles to manage all this free time that they are having nowadays. But for you, since you are doing this, you are really busy.
I was very busy.
Okay, but in case that if you are not doing this, do you think that this a lot of free time could bring you some kind of difficult times to think about, well, okay, what I'm gonna do? Yeah, exactly. So what I'm gonna do right now, and why I have to do this right now, because I'm gonna have tomorrow, after tomorrow, next week.
I understand. Yeah. No, because I always lived by my own calendar and diary. Basically, I never. I mean, of course, I had tours and commitments and things like that, but in general, I was always independent and able to organize my time, and I had to organize my time. I'm very productive usually, and I always do something. I learn something, I practice something, I write a song, I produce a song, I mix something. I'm always involved with music and, of course, other things, family, and so I'm always busy, even if there's nothing going on. I'm busy,
Okay.
And if I have some free time, I like to use that free time also in a productive way. If I watch a movie, I'll practice or work out at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I like to go to the gym and watch, Netflix or something, rather than sit on the couch at home and watch it.
Okay.
Or I'll be here, I'll watch Netflix and practice.
How can you do that?
Oh, it's great.
How can you understand both things?
Oh, I have a mixer. I run a mixer. I've got my phone with the click, and I've got my drums with the system mic'd up. And I have a nice balance of everything, and it's very fun and exciting. I binge watch, I don't know, Gotham or some Netflix series, but I get to practice at the same time. My focus is practice. But Netflix is a nice entertainment,
Okay, so a personal question now that is not here. So when you are having like your family time, do you think that you should be doing something else than that?
I try not to. When you have a plan with your family, then that's what's happening.
Okay.
While I'm somewhere with my kids, I don't miss playing the drums or anything. So no, not really. But vice versa, it happens frequently. Like when I'm here working and playing or practicing or recording, I don't get to practice all that much, but I work all the time. Then I often think like, I should be doing something, with the kids and be home. That way, yes.
Okay. Do you like beaches?
I love beaches.
Yeah, really?
Yes, and it's very close from here,
exactly,
So, tomorrow we'll be at the beach.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, what sparked your interest in the still boy Tomaz Lang at age of 4 for starting playing drums?
It was a TV show. I saw a drummer on TV. He had a huge drum set. He counted in the song.
Do you remember the name of
Yes, it was. I later found out because I went back and researched later. It was a band called Sea Level, and the drummer was Joe English.
Okay.
And he played a big drum set, and he started the song. So he seemed like in control. He seemed like the boss. And he played a huge drum fill into the song, and he was the only one in the band sitting down. Everybody else was standing up. So it intrigued me. The drums looked cool and everything. And after the show, a few days later, my family and I went to a local concert. Small band. It was some sort of a fairground band, and there was a live drummer playing. And I walked up, a 4-year-old, right on stage to the drum set, and I held on to the bass drum from the front, and feeling the power and seeing how everything was moving. His legs were moving, his hands, everything was. There was so much action, and there was such a sensory overload. I was just completely blown away, and feeling the bass drum on my chest, the volume and the air pressure hitting my chest was just like, wow. And from that moment on, I was hooked, and I love bass drums.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I heard, as I told you, I called him just to talk about this last interview.
All right, yeah.
Drummer magazine, and I told him that I love the tips about the routine, the study routine. So can you explain the concept of never play while you are practicing and never practice while you are playing?
Yes. Okay. So when you're practicing, everything you do is focused on yourself. Everything you do is repetitive, methodical. It is very organized. It's all about discipline. It's all about self-analysis. You're figuring out, am I doing this right? Is my hand moving correctly? So the focus is all on yourself, and it's extremely mechanical and methodical. When you're playing, you're interacting with other musicians. You're listening more to what's happening around you. You're not focusing on yourself. You're focusing on everybody else. And you know, when you're playing, depending on the style of music, often it's very experimental, or you know, you're improvising and you're interacting with other people, so everything's going outwards when you're playing. And when you're practicing, everything is going inwards. And those are very different mindsets. So, and this quote means that never play when you practice means when you're practicing, you have to stay in that state of mind and not escape into the easy outward playing. Because when you're playing while you're practicing, you're doing something that you've already practiced. It's not productive. It's not new. And you're not refining anything or tweaking or adjusting anything. You're just stroking your own ego because you feel so bad when you're practicing. It's always a failure, you know?
Yeah.
Because practicing, the point of practicing is to reach that point of failure and push it ahead in front of you. So you get better and better and better. You're working on weaknesses. You're working on things you cannot do all the time. You're learning a new pattern. It's again and again and again and again. And it's very frustrating, and it's extremely exhausting and tiring for the body and for the mind. And when you're playing, you're doing something that you've already practiced. You feel comfortable. It's fun. It's easy. And switching between these two mindsets is very ineffective, you know, in terms of practicing and also in terms of playing. Because a lot of musicians in general, not just drummers, they play something, they practice a pattern, you know, whatever new pattern for 30 seconds, maybe 3 minutes, and then they get frustrated and go, and they play something they've already practiced.
Yes, you told me this during the camp in 2014, and you said that people, they waste a lot of time.
Oh, absolutely.
In this process of getting better in what they are learning, instead playing something that they already know.
And that is the point. The point is you want to achieve a goal quickly when you're practicing, and you don't want to waste any time. So when you're playing while you're practicing, you're wasting a lot of valuable time. And many people spend about 50% of the time playing while they're practicing, playing stuff that's not new. It's all old. So,
can I tell the people this? This is really important. Galera, basicamente ele falou o seguinte, Gilson, se você quiser também complementar, ele falou assim, quando você estiver tocando, você não pratica. Porque quando você pratica, você está praticando para você, repetição, um monte de coisa que você tem que fazer várias vezes. E quando você vai tocar, você já toca uma coisa que você já ensaiou. Então, você está se divertindo, né? Vendo a banda tocar, interagindo. E uma coisa que ele já tinha me falado em 2014, porque ele falou assim, muita gente perde tempo quando eles estão praticando coisas novas, né? Eles param naquele momento que eles estão errando e começam a tocar alguma coisa que eles já sabem para provar para eles que eles não são tão imbecis assim. Que, tipo assim, não consigo tocar isso, mas eu consigo tocar isso, que é muito mais difícil. Então, isso é um conceito muito importante. Ele falou que o tempo do estudo do baterista é atrapalhado por isso, porque o cara não segue o foco dele de conseguir tocar o que ele está tentando fazer novo para ele. Okay. Nowadays, people are used to having access to everything for free on the internet. Do you think that amount of information can even hinder the person when deciding what to study?
Yes, I think, you know, there's such an unbelievable amount of information, or, you know, drum videos and lessons and everything available for free that, you know, you swim through an ocean of information until you find what you really need. And that's the problem. A lot of people spend a ton of time looking at all this kind of different stuff more than they actually spend practicing. And it's also very confusing, you know? And the thing is also that everybody watches the same thing, which makes everybody sound the same and practice the same. So I think this overkill of information is, you know, it doesn't push people to an efficient style of practicing. You know, it doesn't filter out all the nonsense. Everything's always there, and you don't see the forest for all the trees. You know what I mean? And I think it's, especially for young drummers, you know, it's great that there is all this information, and they can find what they want if they know what they're looking for. But most people don't search for specific things. They just look what's, you know, cool new drum video or something, you know? and they find like 5,000 results and start watching, you know?
Yeah, and there's another very important thing that sometimes they don't understand the basic concept of that kind of feel or that kind of exercise.
Exactly.
They just want to play that feel.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of drummers today sound the same because of that. They all look at the same videos and take the the inspiration from the same place. So, there's, in my opinion, not a lot of personality in drummers. Everybody kind of sounds the same. Very few people today have real personality and style and unique ideas when they play. And I think the root of that problem is that overkill of information.
Okay, so what was it like to leave the conservatory and go straight to a gig like how to teach in the 80s? How old were you at that time? And was it scary for you at that time, or was your mind set?
I was 18, so, and even before 18, I already started working, on playing on records and while I was still in school. So, but as soon as I was, out of school, I was prepared, The thing, I was so naive, I didn't know what to expect. So when something happened that was really successful, to me, that was normal, because that's the point where I entered. The music industry was at the very top, and it's been a straight decline.
You start from the top, arena, stadium.
Yeah. So, and it was, and all the acts and bands I played with at the time were very successful in their world and with their audiences. So I started literally at the very top with, very successful acts. Falco, of course, #1 in America.
How did you get that skill?
It was
kind of audition?
No, it came through my just mutual friends, musicians who knew me and also knew him and played with him already and worked with him. And so it was just word of mouth, and
network.
And yeah, exactly, networking. And there was no audition or anything. It was just like, Tomaz. And we played together. He played in a lot of the bands. He was a bass player too that I played with. So we knew each other anyways from the music scene. So, and no auditions, just straight in, because I was close friends and working with the other musicians in the band. And then, like I said earlier, I was so naive, I didn't expect anything. So whatever happened, I was like, okay, cool.
How was the paycheck?
It was good.
Hey guys. Hey guys.
My God.
Hey guys. Hey guys. Huh? Some people are asking here if this is recorded, it's not live.
No, this is fucking live.
It's live. The people not believing. This is live.
It's live. It's live.
We're live.
Totally live. We're live.
I have some super chat questions here. Good questions here.
5:35 aqui, ó.
Yes, we're in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
Yeah.
Can I do some of the questions from the super chat? I have one from Francis Cassol, a good friend of us.
Yeah.
He sent 499. Tomaz, how do you remember everything you practice? Especially things that you don't apply all the time. Do you ever re-practice?
Do you ever miss practice?
No. Do you ever re-practice? Let me repeat the question here. Especially things that you don't apply all the time.
Okay,
you have to redo
like
the practice.
You learn from the past, and then you have to keep updated.
That's a good question. Yes, I do. But not the complicated things. It's usually the really basic things. I always practice singles and doubles, because you can always get better. No matter if you've been playing for 50 years, you can always improve and maintain a high level of control and speed with singles and doubles with both hands and feet. So yes, I do re-practice, but really only the basics. If I practice something complicated, usually, once I feel comfortable with it, I don't go back to re-practicing. I just use it, and whenever I need it, it's there. But I like to practice basic stuff, rudiments, singles, doubles, with hands and feet, some linear stuff, and that's it.
And I can tell how hard it is to play doubles in that kit.
It's very hard.
Because it's very low.
Yes.
Low. Então, galera, esse kit de bateria dele é tipo aqueles concertons que não tem pedra de resposta. E eu toquei ali, a caixa é grave.
Parecia uma criança tocando.
I don't understand how can you play that kind of stuff. The stuff that you play in that kit.
Yeah,
I was totally lost.
I make it difficult. It's very
heavy.
So it's but I like the sound.
Yeah.
And to me, the sound goes before comfort.
Absolutely.
Can I do another one?
Yeah, sure.
From Donizete Barbosa, 1890. Thomas, when you started your music career, did you have family support?
My family support, yes.
Yeah.
My mother was very, very supportive. And both my parents were, not professional musicians, but they loved music. And my mother was singing in a choir. My dad also a very, passionate singer and totally into opera and classical music. He played violin when he was a kid. My mom played piano. They weren't professional musicians, but they really helped me and supported me especially, of course, in the early days. When I was 4, my mom took me, to take my first drum lesson, bought my first drum set, and very, very supportive. I had my own practice room in the basement of our house, so I was lucky to be able to practice at home all my life. And my family was very supportive and very understanding because of the noise.
Okay, so how many hours at that time when you were starting?
When I was starting, I was 4, maybe I practiced 30 minutes, an hour a day.
But then when you started with the classes?
Yes, and when I had the teacher, which was at 4, already.
4?
Yeah.
Com 4 anos, ele teve professor.
Yeah, that's because of my mother. She said, if you want to do this, do it right with a great teacher. He was a classical percussionist, very, very good. And maybe after 2-3 years, when I really discovered my love and passion for drumming, I started practicing maybe, like 2 hours a day. And then when I became a teenager, I was like, 6 hours a day. And once I was into more, I practiced all the time. And I went to the conservatory and to high school at the same time. So I practiced on every train ride, in the subway, at home, at the school, whenever I could. And I got to many hours, like 8 hours or so, whatever I had, I used for practicing.
Amazing. Você tem mais ou posso seguir, Gilson?
I have another one from Thiago Shade.
Okay.
Thiago Little Party. 499. Are you naturally two-handed? If yes, does it make things easier for you to develop your style? And the most important question, have you ever been invited to work as a model?
Yeah.
This was gay.
This is Thiago. What do you expect?
You know what's funny? I'm naturally left-handed. I'm not right-handed.
Really?
Yes, I'm left-handed. So I only, in school, I wanted to write with my left hand, but the teacher said, no, you have to write with the right hand, because when you write with left, you smear everything with your hand. Don't do it. And when I went to take drum lessons, I wanted to play left-handed, but the teacher said, don't do it, because you'll have to change the set over every time you play on somebody else's kit and all that. It's easier if you just do it like this. So like, okay. And so naturally, I play golf, and, my left side is stronger. It feels more natural. I'm left-handed with many things. And I think because I'm left-handed but learned right-handed drums, I think maybe that's why I'm ambidextrous on the drum set. And I can play both ways. So I think that's the reason. And yes, I did model before. When I was in
Really?
school, yes, I had some modeling jobs, long time ago. A little bit of
Yeah, you know what is funny? Every time when I was at home watching your videos, my wife was always
around.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh,
well, this guy's different. Okay, let me stop this. Now.
Yeah,
because when I was watching the other drummers, she was like, that's funny. Okay, do you think that for a guy that is starting to play drums today, do you think it's important to have a teacher, or he can learn everything from internet?
I think a teacher is important. I think there's a lot of great information online, but nothing beats the personal touch. And it's easy for me to correct you when I just go, like that. So, and that is so instant. And also you can ask me questions. If you're watching something online, you can never ask a question. You just get whatever information is there. There's never any interaction. I think that's so essential for learning, because the teacher can react to spontaneous questions and immediately answer them, correct things right there instantly. And I think that is always the best way.
Quer falar pra galera essa aí, Gilson, que isso é importante pra caralho. Você He's a teacher.
Okay.
Ele falou que nada substitui a presença de um professor, mesmo que seja online, mas quando a gente assiste pela internet, sem um acompanhamento, você não tem a correção. Ele deu um exemplo ali, pegando no pulso do Aquiles. Você não pode corrigir a pegada dele, você não pode corrigir a postura. Então, é muito legal hoje esse acesso à internet, mas você tem que ter cuidado e escolher professores de preferência que você possa ter um feedback do professor, mostrando se você está certo ou se está errado, né, no seu estudo.
Awesome. So, who was more eccentric, Falco or Nina? And tell us about what you learned from living and dealing with people.
Definitely Falco. And
Falco, really?
Yes. Yeah, he was. He was a little troubled and eccentric, and also, well, he was a party animal, big party animal, and he was a real, rock star, and he lived a total rock star life. Like, partied all the time, very hard, and very hard. So he also was a bit of a troubled person. He had created this artificial figure of Falco. His name was Hans. So I think there was a bit of a conflict sometimes between the rock star Falco persona and himself personally, especially as he got older. But he, I think he started enjoying himself as a person a lot more after a while, and became much more relaxed about everything and much more mature about everything. But yeah, in the early days, he was a crazy party.
And Nina was huge that time.
Yes,
we
also
were playing this.
Yeah, also exactly, and but very, really very eccentric. Also, yes, but I didn't know her that long enough and well enough to really judge what the background, is there.
But was she like a closer person from the band and everything?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very close and involved all the time.
And the next question, Gilson, it's your turn.
Yay! Okay, let me do it. For Tomaz to win the world, it was undoubtedly essential to leave Austria in the late 80s. How do you see this in today's times, where the internet dominates? Do you believe that even today, as in the past, it is essential to be in a great center to be a relevant musician worldwide?
That's a very, very good question. And honestly, I don't think it is necessary anymore. Not if you're promoting yourself and your own art, and if you have your own songs and music or band. I think it really doesn't matter where you live. Also, there is always the option to do remote sessions. Once you have, a little bit of publicity and people know you, it really doesn't matter where you live. The only thing that really matters is if you want to do local work, if you want to do local session work or movie dates or whatever it is, then you have to go where that work exists, and it doesn't exist in a small town in Austria. If you want to work on Hollywood soundtracks and big bands and session work with some of the greatest bands in the world, then you have to go where that work is. Like I always say, if you want to be a marine biologist, you have to move where there's an ocean. You know what I mean? So it's the same. If you want to play a lot of live shows, you've got to go to a place where there's a lot of live venues and audiences, and also for studio work. Or collaborations with great writers and people, you have to find the place where they all congregate and where everybody goes, which of course is Los Angeles, And there's only 3 places in the world, really where that's happening. It's London, New York, and Los Angeles. And a few smaller places like Nashville or, Amsterdam in Europe or Berlin, but the major and the biggest place of all for worldwide entertainment is, of course, Los Angeles. That's why we're here. Because you do stumble upon opportunities here locally that are international opportunities that you could never stumble upon in some remote place in Brazil, or Austria. Yeah. So yeah, I think
many times I lost you.
Yeah, Oh, I know, exactly. And for me, I was always influenced by English and American music. I wanted to go where that music came from. You know, in Austria, it was all classical or folk music, and I wanted to play rock and roll and pop, funk, whatever it is that was internationally listened to. You know, so.
And what was the turning point for you? Okay, I have to.
I lived in London for 15 years, and I moved to London because of the music scene and the work. And I loved English music, and I was always a big fan of British rock music and pop music. So I moved to London first, lived there for 15 years, and met my wife, who was living in LA at the time. And we moved here after she'd lived with me in London because of the lifestyle. Okay. I didn't move here for the work, but we enjoyed, you know, the ocean, the beaches, the lifestyle. And that's the good thing about LA. It's one of those places that has the infrastructure for music and entertainment. It's a real center of worldwide entertainment, but also it's beautiful and has the beaches and the mountains, and you know, and we wanted that and more space for the kids and all that.
Okay. When do you move?
2002.
Yeah.
Posso traduzir? Can you translate a little bit of this?
Yeah,
sure.
For the people. Eu perguntei, né, como vocês viram, sobre o que ele achava, se você precisa realmente mudar para um grande centro para ser um artista mundial. E ele falou que hoje em dia não tem necessidade. Porém, claro, se você quer trabalhar como um biólogo, trabalhar com alguma coisa da natureza no mar, por exemplo, você tem que se mudar para perto do mar. Se você quer trabalhar trabalhar com grandes artistas no cinema, você tem que se mover para onde trabalham os grandes artistas do cinema. E é por isso que eles trabalham hoje em Los Angeles. E ele comentou que ele morou por 15 anos em Londres, né? O Aquiles perguntou quando que foi o momento que ele decidiu mudar. Morou por 15 anos lá e depois, em 2002, foi para Los Angeles. Foi isso, né, Aquiles?
É isso aí, maravilha. So, when did you start to find your way to develop the style that made you famous worldwide? Like, what was the turning point to find and to see this?
There was not one particular point. It was a long process. I always wanted to find something new as a player. And that's what I think my first teacher kind of instilled in me, that kind of ambition. You know, he was a classical, which is all about reproducing. You know, you're playing a part somebody else wrote, but you have to play perfectly. Don't make mistakes. You're never producing something fresh and new. So I think it was a little frustrating because he always kind of encouraged me to try. If in the book it says played like that, then he said, why not go home and try it the other way around? Or when I came with exercise I practiced, it was perfect. He said, great, perfect, very classical. Now try to play it, you know, leading with the left hand, you know, or do something creative with it. So he kind of inspired that in me. And I realized, I think very early, that making music or creating art has to be a creative process and not a reproductive process, but a productive process. And I think very early, I really enjoyed drummers and musicians who were different than everybody else. I loved Stuart Copeland, you know, still do, you know, or exactly, or John Heisman and people who sounded different than everybody else, you know, and it's because of personality and creativity. And that's what I always, and then at one point when I was technically a little better, I deliberately tried to play things differently or involve my left foot a lot more, do a lot of independent stuff and to use like twin effect pedals and those kind of things and electronic sounds and all these kind of ideas just to explore the options and be a little different. And I never wanted to play what everybody else is playing. That always bored me.
Yeah, but your style is so unique.
Yeah.
I think you are the only one that can play the Tomaz like
I hope so. You can too.
No, I
you
can't.
Can.
In my way.
I know
In my
you
way.
Can. You'll see. He can.
And another thing, like, let me tell the people this question, because this is really important. Eu sentei nessa bateriazinha de shopping dele, pequenininha aqui, ó, e eu vi no pedal duplo dele que os batedores estavam escritos direita e esquerda. Isso, então eu vou perguntar para ele por que ele fez isso. You can imagine,
yes,
huh?
I do it. I get confused. I don't know where to start the paradiddle.
No. Tell me the truth, please. No. Are you picking at that point to have like, okay, this video I need to put this memory lock a little bit here to get more response, something like that. So that's why you put left and right?
No, I don't care. I want them to be at the same level, the beaters.
Yeah.
But the reason it has left and right on it is from a drum tech.
Okay.
I use beaters that hit, like foot snare drums or crashes, and the beaters get broken after.
Okay.
They start getting chopped up, and if you use the wrong beater in the pedal, it ruins the hit. And it happened to me. So it's information not for me, it's for my drum.
That was kind of, oh my God, this guy is the chico. Então, galera, eu perguntei, a pergunta você já sabe. Aí ele falou que não. Eu acho que ele entendeu enquanto eu falava com vocês, começou a rir. Ele falou que foi o técnico de bateria dele, porque como ele tem um monte de pé, um monte de coisa que ele usa embaixo ali, às vezes ele usa umas coisas de percussão, assim, que destrói o batedor. Então, aí ele tem que... Esses dois são desse pedal duplo. E eu fui tocar lá na bateria dele, não saiu nada. O pedal... I'm telling them that it's totally different than the way that... Yeah. Okay. Gilson, the next one is yours.
Yeah, the 10th one, right? Let me find the translation for the people here.
Yeah, we are.
Thomas, since 1995, with the debut album Mediator, you have released solo albums in succession, with Robo Sapiens being the last one in 2018, right? With the impact of the digital media, what do you think projects? Let me redo the thing. With the impact, what do you think about projects as musicians works better than? This is wrong question here. I think this not being right.
Você quer que eu
Yeah.
Quer para ele aqui?
Você não escreveu certo para mim isso aqui.
Como que não? Aqui é o mesmo que eu tô com ele.
With the impact of digital media, what do you think projects and musicians work better than your level nowadays? Recording like your solo discs, video lessons in physical media, or online courses like Thomas Lang Drum Universe? Or it's all connected at the same time?
Okay. Well, first, I did release more albums after 2018. Like last year, I released another album called Prog Pop. That's another solo album of mine, and you can find it on iTunes and CD Baby, or go to my website and order a physical copy, thomaslangdrummer.com. So I think as a modern musician, and for me personally, it's the balance that matters. I want to do everything. I want to make albums and work as an artist and as a writer and producer. I want to just be a sideman and play drums for other people. I want to produce music and collaborate only as a writer and producer and not have to play music, only think about the finished product. I want to be able to teach on video and my online drum school, Thomas Lang's Drum Universe. I want to be able to teach at my school, 9 Beats USA, and create video lessons and play-alongs and all that for 9 Beat students. And for me, it's the balance. I want to do everything. And I think as a modern musician, you have to be able to wear many hats. In this situation, you wear the baseball cap and then you wear the sombrero in a different city. So you have to be able to have different hats and wear different hats at many different times. And I think it is the balance that's good for your soul as a musician and also as a businessman. I think it's important to have a safety net, with this thing if that doesn't work out. Often, like in times like these, everything gets canceled. So people go, oh, what to do? And I like to do everything and be prepared for everything and enjoy everything. I enjoy, having the school 9 Beats. I enjoy, teaching students here and creating content for students. But I also enjoy being on tour, playing drums for somebody. It's the full pack. I like everything, and it's all inspiring to me. And I recommend to young musicians to have all these options and create a variety of potential businesses for yourself. Yeah.
Great. Another one, right? Yeah, I can do it. Another one for you.
Okay.
I heard that you play, in addition to drums, keyboards, bass, and guitar. Is that correct? Or do you play anything else? And how much it impacts your play as a drummer? Do you think it's essential that the drummer knows more instruments outside the purely rhythm environment?
For me personally, it is absolutely essential. I know there are many drummers out there who've been extremely successful who don't play any other instruments and know nothing about music theory or can't read, whatever. And, there are many examples for that. And those are very, lucky people and it worked great for them. But I think if you want to write music and if you want to produce music, or if you're a band member and you want to participate in the writing process, then you have to know, there's at least one other instrument. Most musicians understand the drums. They can write out a beat or sing it to you or explain to you what it is that they want. That's a floor tom, that's a ride cymbal. Hit those two at the same time. They can communicate that. But a lot of drummers can't even explain to a guitar player or bass player what they are hearing. No, don't play major, not minor. That kind of basic things. And I think if you're a working professional musician, then it's really helpful to play another instrument. And for me personally, I always loved all the instruments, and I've learned to play piano at the same time I've learned to play drums as a 4-year-old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I played flute and then piano, and then even trumpet for a year, and bass, and later picked up guitar. I know.
Who's the band?
Yeah, I played everything terribly except for the drums. But I play other instruments all the time now because I write a lot. So I still play keyboard, all the time, every day. I don't practice anymore, but I'll play bass on songs that I write and guitars and everything.
Yeah,
so,
we can see bass over here, acoustic guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
Guitar over there.
So I enjoy playing other instruments, and yes, it helps me understand other instruments and music in general a little better. And I can communicate better with other people. If I have a great piano player come in, I can explain to him, no, whatever, don't play the seventh on that note, or I think it's helpful. Yeah.
Você quer traduzir? Você tem mais? Tá. Mas faz bem rapidinho.
Tá.
Tem mais perguntas da galera boa aí?
Tá. Ele falou que era importante, para ele foi importante, ele conhece muitos músicos que aprenderam a tocar outros instrumentos, que não tocam outros instrumentos, olha isso, que se deram muito bem na indústria, mas ele aprendeu ao mesmo tempo que aprendeu a tocar bateria, aprendeu a tocar piano, e olha aí, ele tocando contrabaixo.
Right here.
Plug that in.
Oi,
I need to start jamming. Let me find some good questions from the people here. This one doesn't talk anything about we talking here.
So before, let me ask you one more thing. Since you are a very technical guy, like you practice your entire life, do you enjoy people that play drums but they are not technical?
Totally, yes.
Like they just have that beat.
Absolutely. I like all kinds of drumming, and my favorite style of drumming is very simple and groove based. And my love for drumming is not, complicated things. Not at all. To me, that's a bit of a hobby. It's dessert. The entree, the meat, is for me always simple playing and groove playing and playing songs, and playing dynamically and with finesse and nuance, and that's what I do every day when I play sessions and record here. I don't play complicated things. I play very simple things, and I really enjoy that, and I love listening to simple stuff. And actually, very complicated drumming makes me fall asleep immediately. Really. like literally, it puts you to sleep. It's like a sleeping pill. If I
like for you, like, oh, this is what I do. Okay, let me search for something new.
That
can inspire you.
Yes. I mean, it's that too, partly, but sometimes as a drummer, I'm sure you know this. When I listen to other drummers, my mind gets into everything that they're doing. I have to listen to everything. It's not an emotional thing. It's a very intellectual thing when I hear complicated drums. And it makes me tired after a while. It exhausts me. So I like listening to simple, music with simple drums, great. But if I'm at a drum festival and you would play in front of me, I would have to go away. Not because I don't
like me.
No. I love you.
Watching me playing. Oh my God, you're saying this from Brazil. Oh!
No, because I love it, and because you're amazing. And when I listen to it, I have to listen to every nuance, and I can't get away from it. So when I'm in the dressing room and you're playing, I'm like listening to everything rather than trying to free my mind.
Oh, okay.
When I go out after you, I'll start playing your licks. You know what I mean? It gets into my mind,
okay.
and I don't want that because I never want to play what anybody else is playing. You know what I mean? And if I hear you play certain things, I want to play something different.
Okay, cool.
And yours, absolutely. I love Aquiles playing. You should all know that I'm a huge fan of Aquiles. He's amazing.
Thank you.
And
brother.
incredibly powerful and just fantastic. Love everything you've
I have
done.
$100 here.
You give me a piece. No, but to me,
let me tell something for the people. I remember that festival that we played the last time in France.
Yeah,
it's amazing the pressure when I was walking on the stage, like to sit behind my kid, and I was seeing you just waiting a little bit for me to start playing. That was a huge pressure. Let me just tell the people what was this. Num festival que a gente tocou na França, eu tava começando a tocar assim, a gente tava no backstage, aí estava batendo papo, ele falou, pô, agora é você, né? Eu falei, vai pra dentro. Ok, go to the dressing room. No, we're gonna stay here for a while. No, go. Então foi uma puta de uma pressão tá ele ali, aí você sabe, porra, o Tomaz que tá ali assistindo você tocar. É foda.
You never have to be afraid of anything.
E aí, sobre a pergunta que eu fiz antes para ele foi se ele gosta de... Como ele é um batera muito técnico e toca coisas incrivelmente difíceis, se ele curte os bateras que tocam grooves e tal. E aí ele falou, vou sintetizar bem, ele falou assim, cara, para mim o groove é como se fosse a entrada principal. Sem aquilo, não tem o almoço, não tem a janta. Então, ele é um cara que ele presta muita atenção nos bateras que são de groove mais simples. E também, assim, ele falou que quando ele assiste bateras complicados tocando, ele fica com sono. Aí ele quer dormir.
True.
Yeah, and I remember when we were doing that big drum bonanza in 2014. Every time when we are riding inside your car, you are listening to bands like 1 AM, those 70s.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gap Band, Ohio Players, you know.
It's amazing.
Funkadelic. Yeah. I love simple music. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Gilson, do we have some...
I have a good question here from Giazi Reis, who sends 15. He asked if Tomaz have any reference from Latin and especially from Brazilian music.
Any reference?
Yeah. Actually, the song
Anger, Sepultura.
Actually, the song that we are going to play.
That's why I picked it.
Yeah, exactly. So he sent me the song, and I when I listened to the song, I wrote him right away. I love the Latin part. Remember
exactly.
that? Yeah.
I worked with a little bit of a Latin beat into kind of a heavy rock song.
Yeah.
I love Brazilian music. I love Jobim, of course. You know, what an amazing, composer and songwriter. And any kind of, samba, I just love. And bossa nova, just that Brazilian folklore music and traditional music. What's not to love? I love it all. And Brazil has such an incredible history of drums and drumming and percussion in folk music. You know, there's such a wide spectrum. And what I love about Brazilian music, the drums are played really aggressively.
Yeah.
You know, they're really loud and powerful. They have a real dominance in the music. Where I'm from in Austria, there are no drums. Maybe some timpanis in the triangle, you know, but that's what I love about Brazilian. It's all about the drums, the rhythm, the fun, the dancing, man.
Yeah.
I love Brazil.
The samba, all those things.
Exactly.
It's really strong.
Exactly. Yeah.
Posso seguir, Gilson?
Vai.
Okay, so let me talk about this.
Okay. All right.
This was amazing. Okay, so when the Creative Control triple DVD hit the market, it was shocking to the worldwide drum market. As soon as I bought it, I couldn't stop watching it. Did you have any idea of the impact of this material would have on the worldwide market when it comes to drumming?
Yeah, I was hoping that it had an impact, but I was surprised how impactful and successful it was. You know, before this, I made 2 other videos in German.
Okay.
Because there were no German language instructional drum videos, and not everybody spoke English. So I recorded some because I got a lot of questions from people all the time growing up and playing and performing. Like people wanted to take lessons. I never had time, so I made videos before this one, and they became very successful because there was no other German language drum instructional video. You know, so I knew it could be successful, you know, this one, but this was the first one I did with Hudson Music and Hal Leonard, a big global release. So I was hoping for it, and I made sure that I put material in there that's attractive, you know, that I hadn't seen on DVDs before, like stick tricks.
Okay, exactly.
And kind of cool double bass stuff. So I was kind of programming it to be kind of widely accepted in that way. But then when it actually was released and it did so well, it was like best-selling drum DVD for like 12 years or whatever. It was very surprising. I was super happy, and I know that it did inspire a lot of people to try new things, and that was what was important to me. I wanted to maybe present some new ideas and some new ways to think about coordination and things like that, and I'm, you know, very happy that it worked out for a lot of people.
Okay, cool. So let's just talk about this so people know exactly. But for a kind of guy like you that release this kind of DVD, can you make a lot of money from the selling?
Not anymore, no.
No, but at that time, when
time,
that was new,
yes, you could make a pretty good amount of money. I mean, it was a real business, you know.
Okay.
It wasn't just, I mean, those DVDs were expensive.
Yeah.
They were like 60, 40 bucks, you know, whatever it was. And you could sell, you know, if you get an order from Guitar Center, you'll sell like 9,000, you know, immediately.
Wow.
So,
do you have an idea of how many copies did you sell?
I don't know, because it's still for sale now.
Yeah,
so I don't know. Now it sells nothing, you know.
Because it's everything.
Everything's online. Yeah. And the DVD business is gone. But for, you know, several years, it's sold, I don't know. I don't know the total amount, but probably on, you know, in the early years, like 10, 15,000 a year or so.
Could you buy a car? Could you buy
yes,
a good
I
car?
could buy a car.
Então, galera, eu perguntei pra ele se um DVD desse, que foi vendido bem pra caralho no mundo inteiro, se dava pra fazer dinheiro. Ele falou que hoje em dia não, mas que na época fez dinheiro pra caralho, que poderia comprar um carro muito bom, como ele falou aqui.
I could buy a car for it, you know, like a 25-year-old Toyota Corolla or something like that. Maybe a Honda Civic from 1994.
So you have a huge fan in Brazil. A guy that, like, you know, he's always reading Tomaz.
Oh.
So his name is Rafael Vendramini. Say hello to Rafael
Vendramini. I know Rafael.
Yeah,
Vendramini.
exactly. You know
Rafael.
Yeah.
I see you on Instagram. I see you, Rafael.
So he sent a very nice question. He asked me to ask you, when you see this DVD nowadays, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is still you representing what you play?
Right.
Or do you think that you are a totally different drummer nowadays?
That's a very good question. I think you know, I look at this DVD with fond memories. You know, I remember, you know, making it and creating the program for it, and then shooting it, and how exciting it was to promote it, and it became successful. It was nice. I remember when I look at this, all these kind of memories in one make this a nice memory and a product that I'm proud of. But I think today I'm a very different drummer. I have very different ambitions as a drummer. I have a completely different setup, and I want different sounds than I, you know, wanted back then. I don't play traditional grip anymore, so I play match grip. Yeah. So I completely changed my grip, my style, my reach, my sound. Also, a lot of the music that I play. You know, at the time I was still living in London and very focused on kind of European music and more kind of experimental stuff and jazz fusion things, and I think musically, in terms of my taste, the genres that I play, my grip, my style, my sound, I think, and also what I want to play and what I want to hear has changed quite a bit. I still have all that in me because it's a part of me and my musical identity, but I think, and I hope that I have developed on from that point, and now I'm hopefully a better overall musician.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Mais alguma aí, Gilson?
Yeah.
Okay.
One from Pedro Henrique. You are known to have changed your drum setup over the years. When and how do you decide to change the kit? Adding sounds and change positions?
That's a really cool question, because I was about to ask you, how did you come up with that idea of putting the octagon here? Like, usually people put this up, like,
but you know, I don't want to do what other people do.
I know that.
And to me, it never made sense to have stuffed toms and drums up here, like
really?
Because they are small. So to put them further away, it makes it harder to hit. And I always wanted, I wanted something melodic in my drum set, like, you know, radicons. But they had to be in a position that was really comfortable to play. And I experimented with, I was a huge Stuart Copeland fan. And, you know, Simon Phillips has it on, like, Billy Cobham had it on the left side. And it seemed like they put it there because they saw somebody else put it there. And I'm not like that. You know, my gong drum is here. People usually have the gong drum there. But this is about personality and creativity. I don't want to do what other people are doing, because I think a lot of things can be improved. And if you think about octagons, small drums, far away, it makes no sense in terms of ergonomics and comfort when you're playing. I wanted to put them where there's space, whether I can, like you have the small Pandero or
timbali,
you know, right in the middle. And it's for the same reason. It's very comfortable to play.
Because 6 is too small.
It's very small. If you make fast moves, you want to hit it right in the center. And if it's over here, you often miss, you know.
You start thinking before playing that part, okay, now,
here it comes.
Here it comes.
Exactly. So, and I wanted to involve them a lot in my groove playing. So I can easily move the left hand just from the hi-hat and make some melodies and make melodies with the left hand. And it's very comfortable to do it this way rather than that way, you know. Why would I have to do that and involve my shoulder? You know, this is a very comfortable position. It looks cool from behind the kit. It's almost like a piano on my left, you know? And also the gong drum, I like it low, all on snare level, because, again, I like to play, I'm left-handed. So to me, have it on the left side, you know, and the gong drum on the left, it feels more natural than having it over here. It's just because I'm left-handed and I feel more power with the left hand. And it's also cool because you can kind of like play ghost note patterns on the gong drum, which I haven't heard anybody play before, simply because most people play the gong drum over here. But when I put it here, I can play really cool stuff between kick drum and gong drum and the melodic stuff with the left hand. So it gives me a lot of musical options. And I thought about it, like, where would I put, you know, a gong drum? And then you look at where everybody else is putting them, and they just use it as an effect. But I'm like, the gong drum is so cool. I want to use it more. Where can I place it where it's more comfortable? I can include it.
Você quer falar dessa aí, Gilson? Essa é boa.
Sim, é legal ali. Então, a pergunta foi como ele foi mudando e por que ele foi mudando o kit dele ao longo dos anos. E ele, como, bem, enfim, falou várias coisas, né? Mas especialmente o que eu achei mais interessante foi o fato de que ele gosta das coisas realmente muito baixas. E para ele é interessante não usar peças muito pequenas, muito longe, porque é difícil de acertar essas peças. Então ele tem usado tudo mais ou menos como num piano, até porque ele toca também, né? E uma das peças que ele citou que eu achei interessante foi a parte do gongo, que geralmente as pessoas usam como efeito, e ele pensou, eu gosto muito dessa peça, como eu poderia usar ela de uma forma melhor? Então ele coloca no lado esquerdo, assim ele consegue usar por mais vezes. Enquanto isso eles conversam e eu fico aqui fazendo de conta que estou traduzindo, mas na verdade eles estão conversando ali entre eles e eu aqui que cara de palhaço, e é isso aí, olha lá. É isso aí, eles ficam falando do cabelo, do Pantene, é isso aí. Traduzir tudo agora. Pode seguir.
Okay. So, when you were recording this one, 2 years later of this one,
yes,
a friend of mine, Daniel Gon, he was
there.
I
love you, Daniel.
He was
He's
there.
Amazing.
So, and he told me that, like, when he was on the recording team for this DVD, and he said that your energy was, like, unbelievable. So he said that at the end of the day, everyone was exhausted and you want to keep recording because, no, let's do one more session. Let's record something else. Mm-hmm. So basically, how do you prepare yourself for this kind of situation when you know that you're going to have to play for hours and hours and like a few days?
Right. That's difficult. That also is a long time ago. So I'm not sure I would have that kind of energy today. I don't know. But, for me at the time, it didn't feel like work at all. Mm-hmm. It was just fun. And I wanted to, use the time.
One more day in my life.
Yes. And I wanted to be as productive as possible and use the time we had. We had only a very limited amount of time. And I had a big plan. I wanted to, record so many different things because it's like 2 6-hour DVDs or something. Or 3. Even I think it's 3. Like each one has 5 hours of material. So I wanted to just use the limited amount of time to get as much
running time. 7 hours. 7 hours.
I know.
Yeah. To record 7 hours of material, it's a lot.
It takes about 35 hours to record 7 hours of material. 35 hours of footage, with multiple cameras and everything. Yeah. So. And a lot of technical problems, so you have to expect this camera didn't work on that take, or that light burned out, or something fell, or whatever. So there's always handicaps, and you have to redo things. So when something was set up and working, I wanted to do as much as possible.
Okay.
So we have great material later to choose from, and it didn't feel like work. And I just playing is the easy part for me. Really is. It is, that is the easy part. Everything else, like setting up, light changing, the technical side of things, and explanations and stuff, that requires more focus and concentration. So if I'm well rested,
do you prepare what you're going to talk about? Do you read or is
I do. I do. For those DVDs, I don't want to come across as a complete idiot and sit and go, So I think about what I want to say and how I want to say it. And I want to present everything in a very clear and concise manner so the information comes across, and I don't want people to get distracted by me sitting there going, and when I do this, I think it's a paradiddle.
Okay, did you prepare this before you get there, or you were just comfortable talking about it?
I prepared certain sections. For example, me sitting, somewhere in a beautiful, with a background,
that was
just
really
talking
cool.
to the camera. I prepared those things. Everything I do behind the kit, or which sticks in my hand is improvised.
Então, galera, ele falou que quando ele vai gravar um DVD desses, para ter um DVD de 7 horas de material, você tem que gravar, 35 horas de material, e depois a galera escolhe. E eu falei, né, que uma das coisas mais legais dele... Então, eu falei para ele que uma das coisas mais legais dos DVDs dele é a forma como ele fala, né, cara? E aí eu perguntei se ele prepara alguma coisa, se ele lê, e ele fala que ele prepara isso na cabeça dele, né? Mas são coisas que ele pensa antes de falar. E o que está atrás da bateria é na hora, e quando ele senta numa paisagem, um lugar assim, ele está mais focado só naquela câmera, então fica mais tranquilo para ele falar. And how important is Rob in this kind of situation?
Rob Wallace?
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Like, is he the guy that's gonna tell you, Thomas, you be part of the end?
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Before the shoot, even, he's very involved in creating the program and creating sort of the flow of the DVD, the concepts, the material. So he doesn't make suggestions. Well, he doesn't make suggestions, but I think I'm an over preparer. I like to over prepare and be prepared for everything and do my research and have notes and have transcriptions and everything beforehand.
Just want to, I don't know, where is that picture?
Okay. Oh yeah, there's a picture.
No, where is that other picture that you were smashing the drum kit?
Oh, that's just, I don't think that's not on the DVD.
Not here?
Yeah. That's like online.
Okay,
it was taken at that shoot, but it's not on the DVD.
Okay, so how did you come up with that idea? That was just basically to show the power, like, this is the way that I hit my drum set.
No, you know how it happened? Okay, here's it. Because I see this photo popping up all the time online and on Instagram and everything. It's funny. So I had this drum set,
This is beautiful.
Yeah, that was my acrylic kit at the time. And we were shooting, I think it was a 3-day shoot. And I was shooting on electronic drums, on acoustic drums, and on practice pads. And we had to shoot all the announcements and the talking and everything else. So we had 3 days to shoot, so very limited amount of time. And we had to set up on the same stage, in the same studio with the same lights. We had to set up the acoustic drum kit and then get rid of it, get it off the riser, and put the electronic kit on for the next day so we can start to shoot. So when we took the acoustic drums off the riser, we put it to the loading bay to put it back in the truck. And people were just putting it on the floor, like they do, nice, And I like, this looks really interesting and so out of sort of context. And I just started messing the kit, putting the rack like that and throwing some cables on it. And then coincidentally, Rob Wallace had a baseball bat in his car from his kids at the time. And I don't know why or who brought up the bat. I think I may have suggested it to him. And he just got the bat from the car, and I said, okay, let's pose for some photos. I'll just pretend I just smashed up my drum set. And we did that photo. But it was just a spontaneous idea because we had to get the drums off the riser quickly into the truck.
Então, galera, ele falou, tem aquela foto clássica dele, né, dele com a batera num canto, assim, ele pegou, ele falou, quando eles começaram a tirar a bateria do palco principal, e aí os caras começaram a colocar de qualquer jeito, ele olhou aquilo e falou, pô, quero um pouquinho. Começou a virar os tambores, jogou uns cabos em cima e aí o Rob Wallace, ele tinha um bastão de beisebol, e aí ele pousou como se ele estivesse destruindo aquela batera, né? Então foi uma coisa legal. Did you ever have problems with your sponsors about the way that you are taking care of your drums? Because let me tell you, I was playing in Taiwan, and they provide me one big for something.
Yeah.
A cool one. I told the guy from England, it sold out show, let's do something that we never done before.
Right.
And like what? By the end of the show, you guys, you grab piece of the kitchen, let's put this on the floor, let's kick it.
Yeah.
Man, the guys
were mad.
they were thinking, oh, this is a brand new kid.
Right.
How can you do this?
Yeah.
So this never happened to me.
No, but I've never,
Actually, okay, you never did that kind of stupid thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. No, I mean, to me, it's smashing up drums was never cool.
Okay,
I thought it was stupid.
That was the only time that I did that.
Right.
I don't know why,
No,
when
you do it, it's cool.
No, it's not. When that happened, because we start playing the show and the audience was getting like mad about everything. And when the guys were doing solo, I was thinking about, because I was not playing. So one by one, I start talking to them during the show. So that was something that just happened, But I learned the lesson.
Yeah.
That was not
No,
cool.
I never. I don't break things deliberately. I like drums too much. I don't, and the drums I play, even when they're not mine, they're from a rental company or something.
Yeah,
I want to make sure they sound great, cool. Look good, and I want to, I don't want to ruin them,
Yeah, I just did that because Mapex,
right,
since a factory, and because we were playing in Taiwan, that was like home.
Right. Bad idea. Lesson learned.
Bad idea. Yeah.
Translate that for the people, Aquiles. That's a good one. Translate that.
Então, a única vez eu perguntei para ele se por causa dessa foto, os patrocinadores alguma vez reclamaram da forma como ele trata a bateria, né? E aí eu contei essa história que uma vez num show do Angra, tava lotado, tava cheio, e aí eu tive essa ideia burra, estúpida, de falar, cara, vamos derrubar a bateria no chão, and the drum riser was 1 meter.
Oh, really high?
Really high. So that was a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And with the mics on already.
Of course.
Aí fez um barulhão, eu fui falando com os caras durante os solos, né? Enquanto um estava fazendo o solo, falava com o outro, tal. No final do show, todo mundo sabia, tava todo mundo louco. And the funny thing that all of them, since I'm very picky with my drums and with my cymbals, they could never play, when we are doing something. No. Don't touch this. So they was like eager to do that. Yes. Então foi assim que aconteceu. Os caras curtiram pra caralho esse negócio e, logicamente, que a galera da Mapex veio e me comeu o rabo, né? Eu falei, tá bom, nunca mais isso vai acontecer. I had enough. Você tem mais aí, Gilson?
Superchat?
Tem mais alguma? Senão, já pode ir pra tua.
Tá. Deixa eu dar uma olhadinha aqui rápido.
Se quiser, faz.
Educan, International Education. He said that from Belo Horizonte. Would you go on tour nowadays as a sideman? And what would you make you accept an invitation besides the financial side?
Besides the financial side?
Yeah.
Besides the financial side.
Of course I would, and I still do. And I love just being a sideman. Yes, absolutely. It depends only on the particular circumstances. On the most 3 factors for me are important. The first factor is the people.
That you are dealing with.
Yes, that I deal with. If these are, professional, fun, interesting, wonderful, people, then I'm interested. If the second thing that interests me is the music. If I love the music, I will play it, If I can identify with the music, wonderful. And the third thing is, of course, the financial side, money, fees,
Yeah.
So I always, as a sideman, I like to have at least 2 out of 3 right, So either the music is wonderful and the people are wonderful and I don't care so much about the money, or the money is so great that I don't care about the music.
I don't care about the people.
Or the people. It sometimes happens in the past. It's true. Yeah. But now, absolutely, yes. For me now, it's always the people and the music that are the most important things. And I love touring as a sideman. For me, that's actually a real joy because it's a lot less work than I do here at home, and in the studio. It's so much easier to just focus on playing and interacting with the band and traveling with the band as a family, and I love that. Yeah, so absolutely.
Translate, Gilson.
A pergunta era se ele aceitaria, se ele ainda trabalha como um sideman, se ele aceitaria um trabalho além da questão financeira, o que era importante para ele. E ele falou uma coisa muito interessante que para ele é tipo um tripé, né? Aonde o que importa mais são as pessoas com quem ele trabalha, o tipo de som com quem ele trabalha e, por último, a parte financeira. Muitas vezes, a grana não é boa, mas ele trabalha com um som muito legal, com pessoas muito legais. Às vezes, a grana é ótima, as pessoas não são tão legais, mas a música é boa. E, às vezes, o contrário também. Então, o importante é estar, principalmente, trabalhando com algo que ele curte muito tocar, até porque um trabalho de sideman, ele tem que se esforçar muito menos do que quando ele está ali no estúdio dele, nos trabalhos dele, porque, na verdade, ele vai focar simplesmente em tocar a música daquele artista e se divertir no palco.
Okay, Gilson, your turn.
Yeah. Let me find the translation for the people here.
It's useful stuff. Okay.
Tomaz, as a high-performance drummer who just celebrated his birthday this week, congratulations.
Yeah, I think and he never replied me.
You sent me a text?
Absolutely.
I didn't get it.
He's right there.
No, he did not.
Okay, maybe.
But yes, sorry.
Well, have you ever felt the weight of age? Something easy before and now requires much more. How do you deal with that? And do you plan your future as a high performance drummer?
Well, I haven't. Honestly, I've been very lucky. I've had some injuries, but they weren't age related at all. It was just repetitive strain injury, like carpal tunnel syndrome, things like that. I had a back injury a long time ago when a stage that I played on collapsed, and that was painful, and that's been bugging me sometimes. But I don't see any other sort of effects of age in my playing, and so I'm not worried about that really, unless something really drastic happens. But I feel good, and I feel like this can go on for a long time as long as I get to play and maintain a comfortable level of playing by playing every day or every other day. Then I feel comfortable that I can carry on with this. I think my style will eventually change once I hit 80 or something. Three-piece jazz with brushes, chilling out.
Is it true that you broke your right foot?
Yes.
Because you were practicing too much?
Yes, and yes,
this is a cool
actually,
story.
With my right foot, I broke a bone in my foot, and also with my left because
because this kind
with this, remember the twin effect pedal that I had with Sonor?
Yeah,
I played this pedal that had two pedals, and I was hitting the heel pedal so hard that I had some fractures in my heel bone as well, and metaphalgic bones in my foot between my toes were all broken.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had to start wearing clogs because they don't bend.
Okay.
I still wear them because sometimes when I practice for a long time, I don't want to, this to happen again.
Então, de tanto esse maluco praticar, ele quebrou o pé direito dele, tanto ele praticava os bumpos, e aí, pedal, né? E aí com o pé esquerdo, por causa daquele movimento que ele fazia naquele pedal da soma que ele utilizava, ele começou a bater tanto que ele quebrou o calcanhar e quebrou a parte da frente, e aí ele usa tamancos, olha aqui, ó. Ele show, meu Deus, usa tamancos de shopping, porque não dobra, fica dura. Fica tamanquinho de shopping do Tomaz Lang, olha aqui, ó. Aí, ó.
Olha aí, ó. Olha aí o board.
Okay, Gilson, the next question is yours.
Really? No, I don't think so. I just ended my questions.
Okay.
Unless...
Okay.
Are you escaping from the question, Aquiles?
Você tem mais algum superchat? Porque agora vai cair a casa.
Okay. Just another one. The last one.
Okay. More, because this is the, that could be not missing.
Okay. Oh, I know.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Shall I give the answer before I know what the question is?
Something that we were both.
I think honestly, Aquiles should have gotten the Dream Theater gig. In my opinion, honestly, I've always said that. I think it would have been the perfect gig for you. Really. He should have had it. True. Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Let's talk about this after this next question.
Okay. Michel Nascimento, 50. Tomaz, technology is evolving every day, and sometimes you have a change to see in first-hand this evolution for you to test and or use. What was a good technology that you like it and don't like it to change in your kit? Cheers from Boa Vista, Roraima.
Okay.
North of Brazil.
What is a technology that I don't want to change?
Yeah. Põe a pergunta aí outra vez.
Okay. What was a good technology that you like it and don't like to change in your kit?
Oh, in my kit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your kit, yeah.
Okay. That's a good question.
You use a lot of electronic stuff, right?
24
Yes.
bass drum, but in this DVDs you are playing 22.
In the first one, 22. The second one is a 24, I think.
24
Yeah.
already. Okay.
What would I like to change in the technology? Not to change. I don't know. You know, that's a difficult question. I think.
What about the pedals? Because you used to play with 9000.
Yes.
And now you are playing with
MCD. Yeah.
Yeah. MCD. I've tried this one.
It's amazing. You don't like it? Okay.
Yeah. It's really strange.
Okay. Well, you know, it's just personal taste. You know, those you like those probably.
Yeah. No, I like the 9000.
Well, not that.
Maybe, you know, I needed to spend more time trying because gear is just a matter of how many hours are you practicing.
Me, it's not about the pedal. It's always about the foot.
Okay.
You know, to me, I want to be able to play on any pedal, anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just like these because they look cool.
Yeah.
They're really amazing. And so, you know, I encourage changes in equipment. I think it's good to have new technology and use it because to me, new technology was always inspiring to come up with new musical ideas. You know, when I first sat down and played electronic drums, like, wow, I can do this, I can do that, I can play melodies, you know, and when I, you know, first get a new piece of equipment to test, you know, sometimes I get prototypes, you know, of cymbals or drums and pedals or whatever, and I get to test them. It gives me ideas, you know, and I like that. So I like to also be inspired by the equipment and by the technology. I think it's an important aspect of growing as a musician, you know, to embrace all the new things that are happening. You know, I'm not a vintage. I mean, I love Camco drums, you know. That's the only thing that I love that's vintage. I'm not a vintage cymbal guy. I'm not a vintage kind of drum guy in India because every modern drum, you know, cutting edge technology sounds better than any vintage drum. You can get any sound out of a modern drum if it's built well with the right drum head and tuning and muffling. So you don't need that, you know, 60-year-old shell to produce that sound. I'm not a big vintage kind of fan because it doesn't produce better results than modern stuff that's made well and tuned and treated exactly the same way. You can put the same, you know, ambassador head with the same kind of towel on a brand new drum and you'll get a probably better sound because it has better bearing edges and better mounts and so on. So I'm all for technology and I like changes. So there's nothing that I think should stay exactly the same in my kit. Next week, this kit may look completely different. You know, I only have 4 drum sets set up. Usually there's one here and here as well. So I have many drum sets in different configuration because I like changes.
Like Disneyland.
Yes.
Disneyland.
I have a last one. It's a good one. It's from a drummer's wife.
Okay.
It's from Rebecca Silva Pereira.
Okay.
Thomas, has Elizabeth helped you carry your drums and cymbals? # drummers wife unite.
Very good question.
Thanks, Rebecca.
You know, I don't think so.
No. Really?
No.
Because he started like with Falcon already, you know?
I always had drum.
Yeah.
Yes.
He never played like the small gigs in bars and pubs, like with 15 people.
You know
like
what?
Drinking.
Speaking of, I did a gig last week at the Coach House. You know the Coach House in San Juan, Capistrano? And, you know, it was a streaming show, but at the venue, no audience.
Okay.
And it was the first time in, I don't know how many years, decades, I don't even remember, that I carried my own drums to a gig. You know, and it was amazing.
This was amazing.
Yeah, because I had to figure out how to put them in the car and like, which one goes first? You know, like how can they close it? Nobody was cool. And my wife, no, she's not. And I adore, you know, Rebecca, is it?
Yeah, Rebecca, yeah.
For helping your husband with the drums. I think that's amazing. Because it's heavy and it's a drag to schlep the stuff as a drummer all by yourself. I think you're an amazing, you know, a supportive wife to support that and help your husband with the drums. You know?
Yeah, my wife used to help me a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like, actually, at that time, we didn't have a car. So she was getting his father's car for us to go to the gig. So she was helping to carry all the stuff. She was not setting up because I was too picky. I was always wearing gloves.
Right.
And when the other guys, they were trying to get some chicks, I was always cleaning my gloves.
Drum nerd alert.
Yeah. Traduz, Gilson, rapidinho, e aí vamos pra finaleira.
But if Elizabeth, if the situation ever arises and she needed to help, of course she would, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because she's always taking part of your...
Of course, she's, you know,
of your projects, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the drum camp.
Yes,
kind
of course, so. Exactly. She's also the CEO of this company. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Vai, Gilson.
Cara, traduz aí que eu tava distraído aqui e não peguei tudo.
Então, ele falou que assim, que ele nunca precisou, assim, ele ficou pensando bastante assim, falou que não, porque ele sempre teve os técnicos de bateria dele. Aí eu falei, pô, claro, né, você começou tocando já com o Falcon e tal. Ele falou, não, mas pô, não sei o quê, sempre tive e tal. Aí ele falou assim, pô, há 2 semanas atrás eu fui tocar num bar, fui fazer um streaming, e aí eu tive que, há muito tempo que eu não fazia isso, eu tive que pegar a bateria, e foi interessante, assim, colocar a bateria no carro, achar, porra, onde é que eu vou baixar isso aqui? Tetris.
Ficou boa, galera.
Então, ele falou que ele achou legal. Aí eu falei assim, você achou legal porque você faz isso aí para levar uma bateria pequenininha ali no canto, né? Agora, aí eu falei que a minha esposa também me ajudava bastante quando eu tocava em bandas covers, e a gente nem tinha carro, ela tinha que pegar o carro do pai para botar a bateria dentro, então ela carregou case pra caralho já, né, nessa vida.
I hope my drums are clean enough for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Não, exato. Aí eu falei também para ele o seguinte, que enquanto os caras da banda estavam nos intervalos, tinha aquelas 3, 4 entradas, os caras iam atrás das gatinhas, eu ficava lá limpando a bateria. Aí ele falou, né? Drum alert. Aí ele me perguntou agora se a bateria dele tá limpa o suficiente. Eu já falei que não, porque eu fui lá atrás e nossa, tá meio sujo isso aqui. I'm just teasing you.
All right.
Acabou, Gilson? O que é isso?
Cara, é só mais uma perguntinha que eu botei aqui, mas... How was it to record a video game track with an orchestra? Very different from the jobs they're used to?
No, because, you know, it's like a typical session, you know, recording session job, you know, not very different. The music was better than most jobs, you know, and so it's a lot more fun to play, you know, video game music. I've done many, you know, different games and, you know, like some that are really metal and others that are more orchestral or more kind of funk based. I love video game music, you know, and I've also, you know, been writing, you know, video game music. So, and this one with the orchestra, not different from other sessions in the sense that you have to really focus on the chart and read and know it well, and also at the same time like interpret the music and create a good energy. That's really important for that style of music, especially with an orchestra. You know, it has to be very precise, and you have to really drive the band and put out a lot of, you know, energy, because, and you have to do it very, very precisely and correctly, because, you know, in video games, people hear the song over and over and over and over again, 5,000 times, much more than they would listen to the album, you know, and so you have to make sure you're really comfortable with the chart and everything, and always produce great energy so it never gets boring to listen to it so many times. Exactly.
Okay? The last question.
Okay.
The last question.
Drum roll!
Okay.
It's yours. It's not mine. It's yours.
And the question that could not be missing is how you deal with being one of the 6 drummers who did not get the theater.
I came up with that line.
Okay, yeah. So, do you think you would enjoy being the band's permanent drummer and giving up the control and freedom you always had in your career? This is a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Because they are playing every day the same set list for 2 years in a row. They don't change the songs anymore like they used to when Mike was in the band.
Right. Would I miss giving up control and that freedom? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, or no, I don't say. It's hard to say because I'm not in the band. I didn't get the gig, so this is all theoretical. And but at the time, I wanted to know what the situation was like with the band. I wanted to meet the guys in the band. That's really why I did the audition. Because yes, it's an interesting, job opportunity, but to me, like I said earlier, it's always three things: the people, the music, the money. And I wanted to meet the people. That's, really why I, took part in this whole thing. And I wanted to know more about the music because I knew about Dream Theater, but I had never learned any of their songs. So it was a good opportunity to get into that headspace of Dream Theater music. And the money in the beginning wasn't relevant to me. Only later, when I found out more about this whole job and scheduling and everything, when I found out about, the money aspect, then I would consider, would it make sense financially? So, but from a musical point of view, to give up, I think you can still. Is Mike exclusive? He doesn't do anything else, does he? Yeah. So
they are always really good.
Are they? Okay. So I like writing music, and I'm a writer and producer. So to have the opportunity to be involved in the writing process, is very interesting for me. To give up the writing process and that creative input, I would not enjoy. And also to be able to create all your own drum parts, because what I learned were Mike's parts, and what you learned. So that I also would not enjoy. If I had to play everything like somebody else all the time, I would not enjoy it.
What I would like to. Actually, I thought that could be cool.
Yeah.
If they gave to the 7 drummers the same song, the split and 2 years.
Yes.
Because then they could compare better.
Because then Aquiles would have gotten the gig. You would be the drummer now. What I think we should do? The 6 or 7 drummers that went on the audition. We should have a camp called the Dream Bonanza, or whatever. The Dream. Exactly. Dream Theater, or we should call it the 6 dudes who didn't get the gig camp.
Yeah. You know what? Let me tell you a story. Like in Brazil, people throw me to the line.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Don't be so mean, Brazilians.
No, but you know what? Now I can see that, to be honest, I am the winner.
Yeah.
To be honest. Because, at that time, that was 2010, I made a promise to my daughter.
Right.
That she was crying.
Oh.
Like close to me because I didn't get the gig.
Oh.
Because she wanted to leave in the United States.
Okay.
So at that day, I made a promise.
Okay.
That we're going to leave someday.
Okay. Oh,
and
that's awesome.
we go.
Exactly. That is awesome.
So 6 years later, in 2016, we moved here.
Yeah.
So we are here for
when was that audition?
That was 2010.
Yeah.
A lot of time. Wow. 10 years.
Crazy.
So basically, and I can tell, at that time when I was doing the audition, my audience in my state was zero. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, Brazil still my main audience, but the second one.
It's now in the US, it's 0.1.
Yeah. No. It's the second one.
I understand.
Yeah. So, so basically in 10 years, my name grew enough to make this living. And all my process of my green card, all the things was based in that audition.
Really? Wow.
And also in all the awards that I won after that.
Sure. Yeah.
So
wow.
That was really,
that's amazing.
Really good. And the thing
all you drummers out there, this is how far you can come by not getting a gig. It's easy to be successful. Show up for an audition, not get the gig, get awards, move to LA, lay on the beach. It's easy.
But you have to do this process a lot of times. And people must know that it's not just a matter of who played better.
No,
it's a lot of different things. So people think that you know, that I lost the gig because I missed one of the parts in the song.
No. Okay, here's a list of 10 things. The first 9 are not about playing the drums. The last one is about playing the drums. You know, it's always like that in any audition process, especially if it's a band situation. The most important thing is the first, you know, impression, the chemistry between people, you know, the look. There are things that are considered like budgets. Where does the person live? Does the person need a work visa? Do we have to fly the person to every rehearsal and to every recording session? Do we have to put the person in a hotel every time we want to rehearse, you know?
Now I understand much better all the process, you know? But I was really glad to be one of the 7.
Is it a coincidence that the drummer who has the gig lives locally on the East Coast, close to the band?
We need to translate all of that. We need to translate all of that to people.
Traduz você, Gilson, porque se eu falar, you know,
tá. Então, o Aquiles perguntou como foi para ele ter participado da gig, do teste do Dream Theater, e se para ele isso, se ele tivesse entrado na banda, ele teria curtido isso, porque afinal de contas ele teria que abrir mão de várias coisas, como da liberdade criativa dele, da liberdade de girar no banquinho, como vocês estão vendo. Então, o que ele falou foi que para ele o mais importante era conhecer a banda, entrar no mindset do Dream Theater, entender as músicas, conhecer as músicas, porque até então ele conhecia a banda, mas nunca tinha tocado nenhuma das músicas. Então, depois desse processo que ele foi ver a parte financeira, daí ele viu que isso funciona ou não para mim e tal. Mas pensando no lado criativo, se ele tivesse que abrir mão, porque afinal de contas ele é produtor, ele é compositor, se ele tivesse que abrir mão desse lado criativo e de trabalhar com outros projetos, para ele já não valeria a pena, porque o que mais importa para ele é manter a mente dele ativa com projetos criativos. E o Aquiles comentou também sobre o lance da galera do Brasil ter malhado o pau, de ele não ter ganho, enfim, de ele ter sido excluído, talvez, supostamente, porque ele errou no Dance of Eternity, e, na verdade, não foi esse o ponto-chave, né? Como disse o Tomaz, existe uma lista de 10 coisas para você pegar uma gig. De 1 a 9, nada se fala sobre tocar bateria. Na verdade, de 1 a 9 é se a pessoa mora perto do local, se vai ter que pagar hotel cada vez que eles forem ensaiar, se ele tem um visto para estar no local onde a banda trabalha, enfim. E lá, por último, é a questão musical, se ele consegue ou não tocar as músicas, porque isso já é óbvio, né? E, inclusive, ele comentou o seguinte: viram, pessoal, o Aquiles não ganhou, e olha só, ele está nos Estados Unidos trabalhando com os melhores, vive, por acaso, as pessoas que participaram vivem na costa americana ali, né? Então, na verdade, ele ganhou muito em estar, todos eles ganharam muito em ter participado, só por ter participado já ganharam muito, e eu não estou conseguindo mais falar nada porque eu não consigo parar de rir.
So, we're gonna play a song. A gente vai tocar uma música agora.
Can I have a last request? Just a last one request. Last one request. Aquiles, que tal se você pegasse o seu celular e entrasse e antes de você tocar desse uma passeada nas baterias do Tomaz para galera?
Legal. Cool, yeah.
Do what?
Yeah, he wants me to show your drum kit for the.
Oh yes, show the drum set. How are you doing?
The iPhone.
We are technology. Okay, estou aqui.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the screen.
Okay, let's start with the small one.
Yes.
Eu tenho que virar a câmera. Como é que eu viro essa câmera? Assim? Gilson, vocês estão vendo?
Tô vendo.
Okay. So this is called the drum throne. It's usually round. This is
Não consegue virar, Aquiles?
Como que eu viro essa porra? Pera aí.
This is my small jazz.
Pera um pouquinho só.
This is my loop kit.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Como que eu viro aqui, Gilson?
Na hora que você pedir para entrar, você escolhe outra câmera. Eu acho que tem que sair e entrar de novo.
Tá, então pera aí, então.
Tá.
Wait a minute.
Então é isso aí, galera. Estamos aqui olhando o estúdio fantástico de Thomas Lang. Como vocês podem ver, ele não tem toque igual a Aquiles, porque tem uma placa lá atrás meio torta, né? Então vocês podem ver que ele não é problemático igual a Aquiles. Então, e é isso. Muito bonito. O Aquiles até hoje não sabe mexer no celular dele, como vocês já sabem. Ele está entrando agora. Calma aí, o Thomas está querendo falar alguma coisa, não está rolando. Ele saiu, peraí que eu vou botar o microfone. Enquanto isso, eu vou aqui narrando para vocês. Tipo aqueles acidentes da televisão, né? Que a gente vai assistindo assim. Temos imagens? Temos imagens? Vamos trazer imagens. Tem um curso lá no Senai que ensina a virar a tela do celular. Cara, deixa assim mesmo, vai em pé mesmo.
Back camera.
Ô, louco, meu! Quem sabe faz ao vivo! 8h07, galera! 10h59 no Brasil.
Não. O problema todo é que essa porra aqui, quando eu vou escolher, eu não consigo voltar. Eu seleciono a câmera, mas não dá pra ver. Então vai assim mesmo.
Vai assim mesmo, vai mole mesmo. Isso aí.
Vai.
Calma.
Okay. Hey guys, so this is my kind of small loop kit. I like to play. I have 3 snare drums on here. Snare drum, snare drum, snare drum.
Wow!
Yeah.
And this is really cool.
Yeah. But this is also a very high-pitched tom-tom and a really low floor tom. It's a 20-inch bass drum, and look at the beaters.
Left and right.
So when I play a paradiddle like this, I know where to start. Without right, left, I don't know what to start with. And it's got a 10-inch hi-hat. It's nice to play like loopy. I love this drum.
Wow. Totally 80s.
I know. It sounds like a 80s like.
And that. And then there's one more secret here.
Oh yes. It's a muffle ring.
Olha que maravilha. Pode fazer na sua casa. Yeah.
As you can see, it's not very straight. Without it, yes, without it sounds like this. And with this,
What's the same?
it's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the other one. Esse aqui é o clássico, né? Vamos aqui.
Follow me.
Aquiles, que animal, cara. Puta merda.
Olha isso aqui, cara.
So this is my main kit. This is where I do most of my recording.
Que pariu.
It's got a very low snare drum. Okay.
Yeah, this way.
It's really low. This is a titanium shell. Love this drum. And all these drums are concert toms. So they have no bottom head. I love concert
Yeah.
toms. And I
Não
tune
tem
them
pedra de
really,
resposta.
really low, you know?
Wow. This is just like a gong bass.
Yeah, it's a cannon.
Yeah. kind of drum head is this?
This is a smooth white Remo, smooth white Emperor, very 70s.
Amazing.
Yeah, they are amazing drum heads, and they sound so great with concert toms. I love the combination. And here are my Rattler toms, and of course my cowbell, and my right hi-hat, my left hi-hat, and my two 24-inch by 14 bass drums.
Wow, this is huge.
Yeah. And they're very 70s sounding, very thuddy.
Yeah.
And my crasher and my foot snare drum.
And as you guys can see, tá praticando bastante, ó.
And my splashes. I have very short cymbal sounds. I like short cymbals.
Beautiful.
It's very short. You
Beautiful.
Oh, we forgot the gong drum.
Oh, the gong drum. This is important.
Gong drum too. It sounds like this.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's a beat.
It's a band.
I love that.
I can hear the low man.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
This is amazing, man.
But now, a real drummer has to play my kit.
No, let's.
Is ready for a little double drumming?
Yay!
And we come back to the stage.
Yes. So I'm just going to start it, and whenever there's a count, it will start. Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me just grab my headphones to make sure that I'm getting the sound.
Yes. You're still like earlier. Same volume.
Mãe, olha eu aqui, mãe.
Can you see us, Bob?
Yay! This is awesome.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
Woo! Hang on. Let me do something. Okay, I'll just get a little bit
I
of
want to play my drums too.
Okay.
Aquiles.
You guys ready to rock?
Hey!
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah! Aquiles.
Mouse battery low.
Não tá ouvindo mais.
That's our tempo.
Eu ia dizer pra ele ligar o celular dele lá pra gente ver ele de lá, né? Ver de trás.
I'm not getting sound.
Aquiles, me ouve, Aquiles?
Let me check something.
Yeah.
Okay. You're getting it. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. I have to
Não
turn the
dá pra
volume.
colocar que tá no laptop. E aí não dá pra pegar as duas bateras.
You know what? We're just going to play drums. No music.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Phasing.
Ah, okay, cool.
Okay. Okay. You guys ready to rumble?
Yay!
Okay. Go! It's coming.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a long pre-roll. We're jamming. No, it's coming. See the where the waveform starts?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear this now?
Kind of bad connection.
Again, Aquiles has problems with technology and equipment. You have to excuse him. What's happening? It's not working?
Yeah, it's better now.
It's better?
Yeah.
Are you getting enough signal?
Yeah,
Okay.
It was just like a little bug trouble here, but now it's fine.
Okay. All right. Do it again. We're doing it again. This is a real life situation. This happens all the time. So we're just going to start over. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to record it too. Why not? Okay.
There it is. Donkey. Donkey.
Does that sound terrible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound that good. But the experience, man. The
Yeah,
experience,
I played
man.
better during the sound.
You have to
It
think about the
wasn't
experience.
Aquiles. It was
Yeah.
all my fault.
No,
He sounded amazing. I just made a mess of it.
no, but it's,
Some of the people are asking about the music. What the name of the song are you guys
Oh,
playing?
it's called Donkey, and it's
Donkey.
from my latest album, Prog Pop.
Ah, great,
Yeah.
great.
yeah, and you know when I hit
You should try this again later.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
often.
we're gonna set up this like another meeting
Yes.
where we can
with
when
the
we
real
can
sound.
prepare, with
Yes.
the real sound, and then I will send one of my tunes to Tomaz, and we're gonna play.
Yeah.
I'm really busy in the future.
The song, and I played it all wrong.
No, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was kind
Perfect.
of.
No,
kind
it was perfect. But I'll, of course, be honored to learn one of your songs.
Okay, but
Yes.
do you think that let's switch the kids now, and I play the song here, and you play there?
Do it again?
Yeah, the same.
Oh,
one,
yeah.
Okay?
Of
Aqui,
course.
Vamos aqui,
Aquiles,
então, para finalizar. Eu
Ok.
quero tocar nessa bateria aqui de shopping.
You know, I'll just turn the. Was your ear very loud? Okay, mine was super loud.
Achilles,
Okay, then
Achilles,
try yours.
All I heard was the
Achilles.
hot- You opened it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Não
Yeah.
escuta, né, gente?
I heard nothing else. But, okay.
O Achilles tá igual uma criança de shopping.
Okay, we'll do it again. And this time, I'm not making any mistakes.
Thank you.
Oh, we have to start the music too. Okay, we'll play it again.
Galera, nesse momento, galera. Dois grandes músicos curtindo esses dois amigos, cara. Isso aí não tem preço. Não tem preço que pague. Isso é muito sensacional. Desapeguem do som. Vocês estão vendo um momento, entendeu? Algo que eles fariam, que ninguém tá vendo, eles estão fazendo com todo mundo assistindo. Isso é demais. Isso é muito legal.
Oh, well. And you?
It looks like
It's not me,
your
it's a
kid.
drum set.
Yeah, it's like your kid. It's amazing.
What a party!
What a party! My God! Ok, galera, obrigado pelo tempo de vocês. Foi sensacional. Thomas, say goodbye to the Brazilian guys. They love you.
Goodbye to the Brazilian guys.
And thank you so much for having us
thank
here,
you.
for having me.
I wish I could hug him now, but
we can't.
yeah. He's really stinky. It's not the COVID, but it's really smelly. Oh God!
Oh my God! He just played drums. Oh my God! He's not the same anymore.
Don't forget to wear your masks, everybody, especially in Brazil.
Yeah. Ok, galera, obrigado. Gilson, say goodbye to Thomas, and we are done today. Enough drums.
Yeah. Oh, you got some.
It's been an honor for me to be here translating and asking questions and everything. Thank you so much, Aquiles, for having me here with you and Thomas. And you should repeat that a lot.
Yeah, with the mics on.
Oh yes, we'll do it better next time.
Yeah, okay. Então é isso aí, galera.
My glasses are fogging up.
Yeah.
Guys,
I hate when
I'm really smiling under this mask. Look, I'm totally smiling. Thank you so much for being here. It was really great to be here. No, seriously.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Aquiles.
Thank you, my pleasure,
Gilson,
brother.
thank you so much for doing all this. You guys be safe everywhere in Brazil, okay? Wash your hands, wear the mask, and, make sure your hair looks cool at all times, okay?
Yeah.
Valeu, galera. Obrigado. Boa noite para vocês. Para todo mundo que mandou superchat, muito obrigado. Vai para União Musical. E amanhã a gente se vê aqui com a live dos Dias dos Pais, que a gente vai arrecadar dinheiro para o Carlos Bala. E a gente vai estar com João Baroni, Cássio Cunha, Sérgio Melo, Rodrigo Castilhos e eu, e o Gilson Naspolini. E você é uma coisa.
It's really good for you.
You just improvise or you do this like...
Oh, I do it all the time.
Então é isso. Ok.
Don't do
Goodbye.
that.
Goodbye.
I spread it on the floor. Look, it's there.
Valeu, galera. Boa noite. Tudo de bom. Valeu, Gilson. Obrigado.
Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Que é isso, galera?